Hello, Mr. McFarlane here, and today's little quick lesson is how to make you successful as we start virtual learning. Now, as you may have witnessed, we are starting school off virtually this year, and we probably won't be back in person for quite some time. Even when we are back in person, we're going to kind of ease into it and maybe go like 1 or 2 days per week in person. So most of this semester, at least, is probably going to be virtual learning. So what we have to do is make it work, because it's pretty easy to go back and feel like, oh, such a downer that we're virtual to start, because I know we want to be back at school. I want to get to know you guys. I know you guys want to be with your friends. And I agree that in person is definitely better. But even though we can't change the situation, we can change our attitude and become more positive about it. So I'm going to go through 3 easy things that you can do to make this experience the best possible experience that it can be. So stay tuned. Alright, the first thing that you can do is make a schedule and stick to that schedule every week until the schedule changes for school, which I don't see it happening for quite some time. Stick to that same schedule every week. Here's an example. One positive thing, kind of going on here, one positive thing is that instead of being in school for 7 or 8 hours a day, you're only online at most 4 hours per day with the Google Meets. So we only have 4 classes per day, and each of them are scheduled for an hour at most. So at most, you're only doing 4 hours of school versus 8. Now, with that being said, you still need to do homework. Just like regular school, where you'd have homework during the day, and a lot of you can get done during school hours, but you still have some left over after school, you still need to set some time aside for homework. So here's my suggestion to you. Let's say that you had a really busy schedule. I'm talking a student that has a very super busy schedule. So if a student with a very busy schedule can handle this, anybody can. So let's say you had classes 4 hours a day, every single day, which shouldn't be you, but because you should have a resource built in there. But let's say every single day you had 4 hours of class, okay? So that's 4 hours that you're in Google Meet. As you're in that Google Meet, make sure you're paying attention, asking good questions, because the more questions you ask then, the less questions you'll have later, all right? So that's one advantage of that. Use those 4 hours, okay? Then, sometime during the day, it doesn't have to be right after, it doesn't have to be, you get to choose your own schedule. That's another positive, is you can set your own schedule for this situation. Choose your own schedule and set aside 2 to 3 hours every day to work on homework. It doesn't have to be physics homework, it doesn't have to be a particular class, but 2 to 3 hours a day where you're trying to accomplish something, school-wise, right? And to do that effectively, what you need to do is find a good work environment with no distractions in your home. Because you are working from home, it's easy to get distracted. When you're at school, you're surrounded by teachers, you're in this building, you're forced to do school for 7 to 8 hours, and you have nothing else to do. You're forced to do school. But when you're at home, there's lots of distractions. You have like job commitments, you have like family you gotta take care of, you have distractions such as TV, video games, things like that. That's easy things to get you distracted away, and there's lots of other things too that can pull you away from doing your work. But here's the thing, those things are still very important, you can still do them, but you need to become better at time management. Some of you are really good at this, but we all need some practice. And one thing that my goal for you is to become good problem solvers and good at time management, because both of those skills are going to carry forward no matter what class you take, no matter what journey you go on after high school. Problem solving and time management are my 2 most important goals for you in this class. And learn some physics along the way, because physics is fun. But time management and problem solving. I want you to become critical thinkers, problem solvers, and good time management, okay? So find a good work environment. So what that could mean is like you put yourself in a room, close the door, make sure that nobody can access that room for 2 hours, all right? And do not turn the TV on. Do not turn on music. Do not do anything but work on homework. Have your assignments listed and prioritize your assignments. Put the most important assignments, the ones that are worth the most, on top. Then go down from there and just kind of check off the list. Maybe like Monday night, you say, all right, I want to make sure I get this first assignment done. Done. Tuesday night, I want to get these 2 assignments done. Boom, boom, all right? And don't overwhelm yourself. Make sure you're asking questions. That's what the Google Meets are for. You can always email teachers and stuff. But make sure you check off something off that list every single day. Make that to-do list of things that you can do. Boom, 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 boom. Make that to-do list and just check them off. Boom, boom, boom. Order of importance. Most important things on top, next most important, etc. Now, kind of went through this. Key thing is to stay positive. We're in this situation. We can't change the situation. We can only just wait it out, see what happens. We can't change that, but the thing we can change is our attitude. All right? We can either be gloomy and like bummer, like, oh man, I don't want to do this. This is a bummer, you know? It's easy to do that. Or we can stay positive and think about all the things that we can get from this experience. All right? For one thing, you get to set your own schedule. You don't have to be in school from 7:30 to 3 o'clock. Some of you aren't morning people. Your classes start at 9, right? Your first class is 9, and it goes till about 2, all right? At the latest, 2:30, somewhere in there, yeah? So you have a shorter schedule, and most of you don't have back-to-back, right? You'll have some time in there as well. Some of you might have back-to-back, but even then, it's a shorter schedule, which means you get to choose your own schedule for when you want to do homework. Choose that. Now, some of you are working jobs, some of you are in sports, even though sports are kind of interesting this year, but whatever. Some of you have other commitments, and that's okay. That just means that, and that's great. That's awesome that you're doing that. But that just means you have to manage your time even more. So think about it as like, that's what life is. When you're in college, for example, you have to do the same thing. In college, you take like 2 or 3 classes per day, and the rest of the time is open. But you still have to do homework. You still have to make money so you can pay for college. So you have to get a job. And your professors are not going to track you down. You're not going to be surrounded by your professors in a building. You need to seek them out for help instead of waiting for them to come to you. So same thing with this situation. You need to seek out your teachers and ask them for help. So in essence, this situation that you're being put in is getting you much more prepared for college than if you were in high school. If you were actually in person, this is a lot more of a college setting than what you're used to. And that's good. It's getting you exposed. It's getting you more independent. So that's something to take away from it. Hey, if I can get through this, college is not going to be so bad, because college can be tough, especially the first couple of years of college. It can be pretty tough, especially if you're not used to that type of schedule. That's why it's important to set that schedule. So, closing thoughts. I have 2 goals for you in this class. 1, become very good critical thinkers, problem solvers, and 2, become really good at time managing. Be able to manage your time and get you ready for the real world, college, outside of high school, what's happening next, right? And like I said, to do those things, start with steps, make a schedule, make to-do lists. Put yourself in a work environment that you're not distracted by things. And still set aside time for fun too. That's why I said you have a little bit shorter schedule now, all right? Focus on school during that schedule. Set aside 2 to 3 hours per day to work on nothing but school, and then the rest of the time is yours. Use it to do your job if you have a job, or to have fun with your friends, or to play games. Make sure you're safe, by the way. Whatever it is, spend time with your family. But make sure that you put that priority list in order and that you accomplish those tasks. And I'm here to help you along the way. So we're not in this alone. We're going to do well together. So take care.